Dear friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Rahul Sharma and I will be presenting before you the 16th module titled New Product Development under the paper of Tourism and Hospitality Marketing. After completing this module, you will be able to describe the types of new product planning strategies, understand how to organize the new product development, and understand the new product development process. Introduction. Regardless how successful a company is, if it does not develop and change, then it will be left far behind than the competitors. If we look at the list of top companies in the hospitality industry, we will find that every year some old companies get replaced by the new ones. Organizations such as Marriott International and Disney continues to be the leader in the industry because they keep on developing new products that increase their market position. But simply by adding new units, it is very difficult for hospitality firms to increase sales and market share. Nowadays, growth must be achieved within existing entities by developing and implementing exceptional offerings or by opening new ventures in uncovered markets that may require a good research and effort. For example, many companies have started to offer their product service mix in the international markets. A good example of applying product service mix modifications to increase sales is fast food restaurants that offer new products on a routine basis. These firms regularly introduce new products that will be available for a limited period. The objective is to enhance loyalty and market share by winning the competitors' customers. The second objective is to get the repeat purchase. These limited period offerings are often in form of product bundling with a lesser price or more quantity to communicate a higher level of perceived value to the consumer. Companies often name such offerings as happy price menu or value meals or a similar term to communicate better value. Product development is of two types: innovation and follow the leader. Innovators take risk, always want to be the first in the market with a new offering. The innovator will always get the first mover advantage in the market in the form of brand loyalty from customers. For example, it is very common to hear customers at Burger King demand a value meal, which is of McDonald's. However, because products and services in hospitality industry can be copied very easily, those who adopt follow the leader strategy can introduce their competing products and services soon after the market leader product and services get some success in the market. Let us now discuss about product or service innovation. Change is a truth which is relevant for any field. Hence, product and service also has to go through the process of change. This change for products or services can be termed as innovation. In the hospitality industry, organizations have to survive by innovating their products as it keeps them fresh in the minds of the customers. People need and demand changes. New and better products are the one which gives edge to the organizations in market. They help in competing with the rivals. The product innovation is a process of introducing new and significantly improved products in the market. Innovation has four basic directions. Direction 1: improvement and development of present products. This is the way of improving and making the present products better. It can be done by the external and internal information received, such as customer feedback and employees' feedback. For example, changing the room ambience or innovating in terms of room services provided to the customers. Direction 2: improvement and development of present processes. This is a way of improving the processes followed in the hospitality industry. For example, the guest can automatically check in rather than going through the manual desk procedure or use of wearable tech for security measures. Direction 3: introduction of new products or services. It indicates introducing an altogether new product to the market. For example, a hotel may introduce a heritage based hotel or independent room sets hotel or a personalized cooking choice restaurants. Direction 4: introduction of new processes. It is a process of introducing new processes in the hospitality industry. For example, a restaurant may adopt the quick service system or hotel may adopt to cloud computing or mobile messaging app. In the next section, we will now talk about the planning for new products. It is very important for firms to take a systematic approach to developing and marketing new products and services. The probable rewards are high for successful new products or services, but the likely risks of failure are equally high. A firm must do a thorough analysis of a new product idea to determine if it is compatible with the firm's goals, if the firm has the necessary resources, and if the environment is favorable. Strategies for existing of new products can be either reactive strategies or proactive strategies. Reactive strategies are developed to mitigate the competitors' actions, whereas proactive strategies are developed to gain a competitive advantage. Reactive strategies for new product development comprise of: number 1, defensive strategy. A defensive strategy is usually applied to tackle the effects of competitors' new products on firms' existing products. In this strategy, firms do minor changes in a firm's marketing mix, such as advertising, packaging, and or pricing. This will nullify some of the impact from the competing product until more information can be obtained and substantial changes made if necessary. These changes could involve the development of a new product or service or some major modifications to the current product service mix. Normally, when new restaurants open, the other local restaurants counter with increased promotions and discounts. Number 2, imitative strategy. Under this strategy, a firm copy a new product or service before it can have a huge impact in the market. This strategy is particularly useful when the product or service can be easily duplicated. This strategy is heavily used in the fast food industry. Every time McDonald's launch a successful new product, Burger King and some of the other competitors are quick to respond with similar offerings that tend to be very homogeneous. Number 3, responsive strategy. Under this strategy, firms react to the demands of customers. These new products are truly market driven. Hotels often modify their offerings and design new properties based on the observed behavior of their guests. The way guests tend to rearrange a room, common complaints, and frequency of use of amenities and service are all factors that affect the design of hotel products. Now, let's discuss about proactive strategies for new product development. This type of approach for developing new products is to be proactive, a change rather than react to it. A popular proactive strategy used by manufacturing firm is a research and development strategy. Service firms also do research in an attempt to design and develop new service concepts. Hospitality and tourism firms are continually searching for new ways to improve facility designs and computer systems for reservation and resource management. The major proactive strategies are: number 1, marketing strategy. This strategy applies the marketing concept and the notion that it is important to identify customer wants and needs and then develop products and services to satisfy those needs. Most hotels and restaurants use comment cards to gather information from consumers. Majority of the hotels get feedback from customers, employees and suppliers in an attempt to completely understand the process of delivering high quality service to its customers. Number 2, entrepreneurial strategy. Under this strategy, firms look for new ideas that are generated internally through means other than research and development. Employees are a great source for ideas on improving existing products and services and developing new ones. Some firms encourage employees to share their ideas and opinions. As a result, some of the new service concepts become separate operating divisions or separate components of current operations. Number 3, mergers or acquisitions strategy. A firm can acquire the rights to new product or services by entering into a legal arrangement with another firm, thereby combining the two firms' products and services. Acquisitions are many in the hospitality and tourism industry. At one time, PepsiCo developed a major presence in the hospitality industry through its acquisition of brands such as Pizza Hut and KFC. The advantage is that the individual firms do not have to diversify their offerings because the diversification has occurred at the corporate level. Later, PepsiCo reassessed this strategy and divested itself of these brands which were acquired by Yum Brands. Number 4. Alliance. Alliances are designed to take advantage of synergies that exist between companies by pooling resources such as marketing, research, and distribution. Many airlines, hotels, and car rental agencies have formed strategic alliances to help promote and sell their products and services. The firms benefit from cooperative advertising and shared databases among many other areas. Moving further, let's now discuss about organizing for new product planning. Companies adopt different types of organizational structures to develop new products and services. No structure is best, and each has its own pros and cons, and suitability of the structure also varies from one company to another company. The main organization structures applied to new product development are: number 1, new product committees. This structure comprised of the representatives of different cross-functional areas of the firm. Usually, members give input regarding their core areas of operation. The main responsibility of committee members is to review new product ideas and estimate the effect that proposed new products on the organization. The working of new product committees is often slow because members normally have their routine responsibilities within their respective functional areas. These committees do not develop the actual product or service. Their role is limited to decide which type of new product or services should be offered. Number 2, new product departments. Some companies create a new product development department. Somehow, this solves the issue of shortage of time faced by members in new product committees. But still, it is very crucial for product development department to ask input from all concerned functional areas of the firm. Number 3, product managers. Some firms appoint full-time product or brand managers to take complete responsibility of developing a new product or managing an existing brand. In this structure, the product or brand manager has complete responsibility for all decisions related with marketing mix, the communication mix, and distribution mix for a specified brand. Number 4, venture teams. Venture teams and new product committees are almost identical, with the exception that venture teams are created to complete a specific project. One of the major advantages of venture teams is the presence of expertise of different functional areas such as marketing, finance, operations, architecture, and construction. The venture team is usually assigned with the responsibility of new product planning, development, and implementation. The venture team stays on the project till its completion. Once the project completes, venture team ceases to exist. Now, let us discuss about the new product development process. A new product development process is a process of designing, developing, and testing for the viability of a product. The viability here refers to the acceptance and demand of the product by the customers. It requires a huge investment in developing a new product, and hence organizations cannot take risk of launching any product of their choice or just on the basis of assumptions of demand in the market. They need to follow well defined steps to save the cost involved and reduce the risk in launching a new product. The new product or service development involves primarily 5 steps. Step 1: Idea generation. Idea generation is a process of coming up with new ideas for the development of new product or services. This is a phase of possibilities. In this phase, various inputs are taken from internal and external sources. These inputs are further matched with each other and then viable ideas are generated. Ideas for new products can be generated internally through brainstorming and research and development. Other than internal sources for generating new product ideas are sales persons and employees. Majority of the employees in the service firm interacts with customers. This enables them to detect problem areas concerning customers. This type of information is very useful in improving customer satisfaction with service modifications and development of new services. Some of the external sources for new product ideas are suppliers, trade shows, competitors, and trade magazines. A firm can generate new product ideas by carefully observing the actions of competitors and reading about new developments in trade magazines. Companies can attend trade shows to update what are new innovations in the market. Finally, suppliers can also be great source of new ideas because they are in touch with retailers and deal with competitors' products. Firms should ask ideas from all potential sources. For example, menu items should be sought that expand, extend, or enhance the current menu. Step 2: Idea screening. This is the stage when from the generated ideas, the irrelevant and non-feasible ideas are left out and only meaningful and feasible ideas are pursued. This is a very important stage and activity of product development. The external and internal information is matched and carefully the various ideas are examined. It needs a high degree of expertise and experience to actually judge which idea has the potential to succeed in the market. Managers should do both quantitative and qualitative analysis to evaluate new product ideas. The quantitative analysis involves answering questions like: will the new product attract new customers? Do we have the expertise and capacity to produce this product within our existing capabilities? Does the competitor have similar products? If so, how differentiation can be done? The qualitative analysis involves answering the questions like how the new product or service affects the image of the company, how the new product will help in the achievement of overall company goals. Ideas are left out considering: number 1, resources or capabilities of the organization may not support the idea. Number 2, the idea may not be feasible to employ. Number 3. Clashes with current set of customers which may result in customers' loss. Step 3. Concept development. This is the stage where the idea is developed into the concept, product or service. At this stage, idea is exposed to the customers in the target market. This is usually done by using marketing research data collection method or through focus groups. The consumers are usually asked a number of questions on the effectiveness of product in meeting their needs and its value in comparison of competitors' product. At this stage, products having high chances of success are moved forward because the resource requirements necessary to proceed starts to increase. Step 4. Business analysis and test marketing. This stage is one of the critical decision making stages. At this stage, the organization decides whether to introduce the product or service to the market or drop the idea. The organization assesses the potential of the product and the investment required, possible demand and profit generation. The information collected in the concept testing stage serves as a base in business analysis to calculate the business potential of new product. It is crucial to calculate potential sales, market shares and cost of different possible scenarios. The worst case, most likely case and the best case for different market conditions. If the projections are attractive, then the new product is prepared for test marketing. The introduction of new product in few selected locations is known as test marketing. The testing period should be long enough to view customers' reactions regarding purchasing patterns and repurchase. In the test market duration, the product is assessed on the basis of number 1. Customer response regarding various types of sales, promotions and advertising, quality and prices. Number 2. Sales achieved during various times of day and days of the week. Number 3. The monetary contribution that the new product has made. Locations decided for test markets should have some features. First, the test market location should be identical to the target market for the product. It should have identical demographic and psychographic profiles of potential customers, the same type of media and the similar competitors. Second, the test markets should be of manageable size and somewhat isolated. Influence by competitors or media from nearby locations should not be there. The most critical point to keep in mind when conducting test marketing is to be sure that test market locations are true representation of the target market to make sure the validity and reliability of the findings. Step 5. Market introduction. The final stage in the new product development process is market introduction, means introducing the new product to the entire market. New products that show favorable business projections and test market results are given the go ahead signal by management. It is very costly to launch a new product because of the expenses on development and promotion of new product. At first, there may be negative profits due to fixed startup costs and inventories and very less sales. It may take sufficient amount of time for the new product to be accepted and built market share. During this period, the firm must monitor the results and make any necessary changes in marketing strategy. Once the product is successfully launched, it is monitored and managed through the rest of its product life cycle. In the end, let us summarize the complete discussion. New products are important for companies because of growth opportunities of the business, efficient and effective use of the company resources, increasing market share, and exploiting and extending the product service mix. New product development strategies can be either reactive or proactive. The strategy employed depends on a firm's resources and market position. Some firms have chosen to be innovators and leaders in the market, whereas other firms are more comfortable in their follower role and tends to be more reactive than proactive. It is important to note that there are many success stories to support the use of both strategies. The most common organization structure for new product development are new product committees, new product departments, product managers, and venture teams. The firm should provide an atmosphere conducive to the development of new ideas and support their progression through the development process. The process used by many firms to develop new products includes the idea generation, product screening, concept testing, business analysis, test marketing, and market introduction steps. Thank you.